The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico and Haan and Paige Clarke.
Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle. Nico and Haan here with my friend Paige Clarke. Happy Friday, everybody. How's it going?
It's going great.
It's a beautiful day here. It's 79 degrees and partly cloudy, and it feels like it's springtime already. And I noticed you kind of got a little glow about you today.
You can tell?
Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of wore my my Valentine colors today, but also to kind of tone down the fact that I have a little bit of a pink glow in my skin.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay.
And I thought I'd share with people, just because, what I always say is we have a creative fusion of ancient wisdom and quantum science. And just because we're holistic doesn't mean we don't want to fight some of the not so positive things that are happening with Mother Nature. And, I kind of said this year, I said, OMG, what's going on with this neck?
Oh,
and this lower face.
Okay. So this is kind of like a treatment at a spa or something?
It sure is. And I went to a wonderful event at Pure Life Medi Spa. It's right here. And maybe we can pull up their website. My friend Dr. Fitzgerald and his lovely wife Elif have this gorgeous, wonderful spa. And I'll tell you what attracted me to I like to go to all their events.
So this is called Pure Life Medi Spa.
Yes.
And it's here in Largo?
It's here in Largo, off of Indian Rocks Road. But I'm telling all of you, because I know a lot of you are all over the place, all over the world, and we're all, those of us that are in this age range, we like to think, what can we do to help,
Yep.
And I'm quite particular about ingredients. And a lot of cosmetic ingredients and things that people are doing I don't really recommend, but I really like the science, and they're doing some cutting-edge stuff there.
Well, tell us about
I hope to have, I'm going to maybe see if Dr. J wants to come on and talk a little bit about it. But,
nice.
If you guys have heard me talk about, trying to encourage the body to remember how it was supposed to perform.
Mm-hmm.
I've said kind of cell resonance is nutrition or substances that tell the cells how to behave.
Right.
Well, that's what I say stem cell is.
Right.
And when we encourage, stem cells are basically the guys that go in and say, hey, remember how you used to be a young face and a tight neck?
Kind of little interior decorators.
Exactly. And so, anyways, they did a wonderful event. Some of you may have heard of the vampire facelift, or the, as it's called, PRP treatments, or the DNA cellular treatments. This is all the cutting-edge things in helping to stimulate the body to produce new skin cells that are acting and behaving like a younger skin. Dr. Fitzgerald calls it the liquid gold, utilizing your own liquid gold.
Okay.
So they did 2 techniques last night, and this involves needling, guys.
Ooh. Okay.
Using a medical device that has little tiny needles that creates tiny micro injury on the skin. So if you can see, I'm kind of a little pink still. And I'm a blonde-haired pink girl anyway, so it's going to happen. But this is all good. Mm-hmm. It's creating a situation where we have a little inflammation, and the body goes in and says, I need to repair that. But while I'm at it, let's recruit some of our stem cells. So
this is kind of how exercise works too, in a sense. When you stimulate the cell, you're doing microscopic tears in it, and then it goes and cleans it all up.
To me, it's quantum science, but it's actually quite primal.
Yeah.
So I really want to encourage you to start doing some research on this, and we're going to kind of follow my face in that, because I have decided to do a couple of treatments, and we're going to see if we see some natural beauty things happening. And,
let's see if we can get them on the show. Maybe the weekend I'm.
Oh, and Dr. Fitzgerald has such a great personality.
Oh, good.
Yeah, but they've got a great little center there. And for those of you tigers and tigresses, there's nothing says you can't hop on a plane and come down here and get a little treatment, enjoy our
spring break time
sunshine.
right now, and people are coming down here. I'm telling you, restaurants are really busy this time of year. And if you're a regular, you've already got your restaurant picked out. My wife and I go out on Friday nights, and we have a restaurant that we go to, and we're the same waiter all the time.
There you go.
That's the way to do it, because otherwise you will not get in. It's that busy right now.
Exactly. True.
So, well, cool. You're doing rejuvenation. I've got a newsletter out, too. And remind the folks here that the number here is 877-927-6648 if you'd like to give us a call. We'll go over a couple of things on the newsletter, too, I wanted to touch base on. I put these out every 2 weeks. And, of course, what happens is that I'm going to try to come up with stories that are really relevant and what we talk about on the show, and a lot of times we don't get to it, and then if I'm doing research I have to kind of dig deep to see where the research comes from. So this is what the newsletter is really all about.
But the nice thing about the newsletter is there's wonderful links, guys, that you can go to and go see the video, and we save you hours, because that's what we're doing. We're both doing this for our businesses. We're researching and we're trying to provide the latest information to you. So can't say it enough. I think it's just a wonderful feature-rich newsletter with the links that can entertain you for hours. It takes us hours to put together with finding the information, and then you can just sit down at the comfort and scroll through.
I lead off the thing with Nature's Flu Shot, which is just some basic materials that you can get from any health food store and make your own Nature's Flu Shot instead of what's out there. Article about fitting paleo into your busy life. We're all busy people, and there's things that you can do to make it, kind of the transition kind of stress-free, and that's what we want.
And that's a real big point. I like that the top of the list in that list of things was sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep, sleep, sleep.
I think that's the most underrated thing there is. We need our rest. And
repair and restore.
Yeah, and you don't realize how much rest you really need sometimes. And I know as I'm going through this training for the Pan Ams, I'm finding myself right on the edge and needing more rest than I think I do sometimes, and take a couple days off, rejuvenate, come back even better. So it works out pretty good. Mm-hmm. There's an article in here about 26 films every activist must watch, as I'm rolling over my tongue here. And this is pretty interesting, sent to me by one of my listeners, and some great movies.
Well, that's what you can do on a Friday night. Instead of going out and going to watch something, you can go and
right now the Olympics are nice to watch.
Yeah,
I like doing that, but most of the time I find myself on YouTube watching stuff people have sent me, and tags to different articles. I subscribe to a lot of stuff on YouTube, and I'm finding myself hours and hours of really enjoyment, and I'm learning something, so that really makes the difference. More benefits of how one fatty acid, omega-3 DHA, acts in our body, and that's important to realize that that's probably the primary one that we need, because our body doesn't make that, but from the DHA, of course, our body makes all kinds of good stuff.
And we can convert and make other fatty acids from DHA, but it's not the case in the reverse, folks. And unfortunately, a lot of the fish oils, we've already talked about that. Many of the ones that you're seeing on the shelves are already rancid and not produced properly, and they have a low percentage of DHA.
Yeah. Many people don't realize that, when we're talking about fats, we're talking about oils, and oils have a high tendency to change their molecular structure by heat. And it doesn't have to be high heat. It can be just long-term, low, relatively high, maybe.
Long-term exposure.
Long-term exposure is what I'm trying to say, exactly. So things like nuts and things like some fruits that have oils in them, even coconuts, need to be refrigerated if you're going to have them for a long time. So if you keep them more than a couple of days, you need to put your nuts in the freezer.
Nuts and seeds in the refrigerator. It's really a good idea. This article right here about radioactive fertilizer, the primary cause of lung cancer.
Scary thing.
Scary thing, because, but when you stop and you think about it, you think about our ancestors, our Native Americans, and the smoking of tobacco and the pipes. I think that, it's what's actually in, and if it's not just the chemicals that have been added by industry, is it yet the soil? And this research gives us some indication that in fact there is a component that they're tying to the cancer, and it's coming from the fertilizers.
Yeah, and your fertilizers, of course, are high nitrogen-rich and all kinds of elements in a highly concentrated form. That's what fertilizer is.
And one of these components is this radioactive polonium, but guess where another source of this polonium is?
What?
What's my pet peeve issue? Fluoridation.
Fluoridation.
Because the hydrofluorosilicic acid is a byproduct, that's being dispersed to us to get rid of...
In the water. Not only that, but also in the air.
Correct.
The same components of the fluoride is going in the air through the chemtrails that you see in the sky everywhere in the United States.
So this was a great article. If you get the newsletter, you can really understand how we may be having this dangerous exposure to the polonium.
I think so. Yeah.
I like this picture, though.
Oh, the little lady with
with the teeth.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It's an article really about unusual regeneration in some products.
Well, it's regeneration from an unusual source, and that unusual source, guys, is our urine, and comes back to stem cells, very much like what we were talking about. I did last night, is utilizing the power of our own or highly purified stem cells to remind our cells, the ultimate in cell resonance, remind your cells to behave in a young fashion.
Yeah. The next article is Killing Us Sweetly, and that's a really an in-depth article. I only got about half of it in here. Next, in 2 weeks, you'll get another.
And I think that was kind of highlighting Dr. Gary Null, who has been a leader in natural health for many years. And he's really stating, why in the world are we acting like this information is new? In fact, it's been out there for years, to the detriment of the health of a lot of people who have been misled to think that these foods that have processed sugars and so forth are safe for us, and we know that's not the case.
And really, the information is extensive on how bad the sugars really are from us. You think the grains are bad. Well, the grains are bad, but they act a lot slower. Mm-hmm. Sugar acts 10 times faster. Same product. It's kind of like nitroglycerin and maybe car fuel.
And then we really take some of these more highly processed sugars, Is a unrefined cane sugar as bad as high fructose corn syrup? I think not. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're mixing it in with some grains in a small amount.
Yeah, because they really impact our hormones a little bit differently.
Correct.
So it's all about the hormones when we're talking about what is burning, what kind of fuel we're burning, and how our body reacts to that fuel, whether we're storing fat or whether we're burning the fat and things like that.
Exactly.
And then we have an article on here, what is quantum reflex analysis?
And that's what I do, folks. I think you've heard me talk about that's really what I do, is I'm working to try and get nutrition that is cell resonant and really works into the cell. We're very interested in making sure it's not about what you take, it's about what you absorb and what can get in the cell, and it can communicate with the cell.
It's really fascinating because Paige and I have been on this kind of quest for the last year to find products that really, really work, and we could keep coming up against these walls because these products aren't getting to the source, aren't getting to our cells. Mm-hmm. We finally hooked up with a manufacturer that it looks like it's fantastic. We're having another meeting today. But,
I'm going to tell you, the work of Dr. Marshall and my Quantum Reflex and the Premier Research Lab products are fantastic, and they're at the top of what I use professionally. But when it comes to just trying to see if I can't help people get something that becomes more of a basic in terms of food, we think we found something, and we're going to be talking about that in the next few weeks.
Yeah. In fact, we also have a caller on the line that is going to join us right after break. It's Tom from Tampa, so stick around, Tom. We'll be right back with you, and please pick up my Health Signals newsletter, brand new one coming out to you today, and also the number here is 877-927-6648. Paige and I will be right back.
Thank you.
You've heard Nico de Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. you take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Who says you can't take it with you? TFNN says you can. With your mobile device and TFNN's live radio streams, TFNN has put it all in the palm of your hands. No special apps to download. No subscription fees for live radio or Tiger TV streams. We say you can.
Now let's go over to the dollar, because the dollar is going to be the generator. It is the generator of basically higher dollar, lower market. And what the dollar has done, and this whole uptrend, folks, has just gone sideways. The way it works, folks, is this.
We say you can. The Tiger Financial News Network. Smart investors and professional traders know you can. TFNN.com. Educating investors. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And welcome back to Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke and Nico and Haan. And we have a caller on the line, Tom from Tampa. How are you doing?
Hey, good, Paige. How you doing?
Good. Happy
Tom.
Friday, Tom.
Hey, Nico. What's happening?
Everything's good.
Good. Hey, I wanted to check with you. What are the big benefits of vitamin A, and what's a good source for it?
That's a great question, Tom. And that is one of our fat-soluble nutrients. A lot of people get confused. Then they believe that beta-carotene is vitamin A, and that's not the case. We get beta-carotene, but our body has to do the conversion, and the question is, how well do we do the conversion? I think a highly micellized vitamin A supplement is a good choice. We're going to get to real foods in a moment. But I also, you've probably heard me talk about Green Pasture's fermented cod liver oil. Did you ever have cod liver oil when you were a kid, or your parents?
Oh, yeah, I couldn't stand it, right.
Well, the thing about cod liver oil is we're getting the natural fat-soluble vitamins in a 1-2 punch. We're getting vitamin A, we're getting D naturally. The problem is a lot of these cod liver oils have been heavily processed, and I think Green Pastures is one of the only organizations that has taken the historical production of fermenting the cod livers to produce these nutrients, and they have a great product. And you can get it in banana, carob, or you can get it in caramel, and it still tastes like cod liver oil. But I like that. I really like that for, expectant parents, because you get a lot of super nutrition. It has vitamin K2, which is kind of helps our calcium stay, in our bones and not float around and cause problems in the arteries. Another place, of course, is liver. Do you like liver?
Yeah, liver's not bad. It really is. I got to put a little ketchup on it now and then, but liver and onions, yeah, I can deal with that.
Yeah, that's a good source. So we really always want to look at our food sources. Apricots is also another place. Think of that orange bright color. Apricots does have it. But the best sources are animal sources. So I like liver and cod liver oil.
Yeah. And like you said, onions go naturally with liver because the liver is a little bit dry. The onions are nice and wet, really complement each other, and we fix that a couple of times a month. And
let me tell you what are some signs. People will ask me, well, how do I know if well, first of all, we don't get enough vitamin A of the animal source, the provitamin A that we want. And we often recommend in my office, I call it part of the first response, to take, couple 50,000 international units of vitamin A at the first onset. Whereas when you're taking cod liver oil or supplement like that, it works out to be more like 10,000 or so that you're getting. But mucosal membrane health and immunity are signs. If you've got your membranes in your eyes sort of feel dried out or sensitive, this could be a sign that you're not getting enough vitamin A.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, can you take one more?
Sure.
What's the benefits of steam saunas? You hear more and more about it. I might take one once a week, but is it basically the detoxification, and is that what we're basically looking at on that?
Are you talking about steam, or are you talking about infrared, or both?
Steam saunas, just a good hot sauna.
Yeah, anytime that we can open our pores and help our body, knowing that the skin is one of our largest excretory organs, anytime that we can help to move toxins out of the body, we're at an advantage, I think.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I come out of that thing with a great sweat. Just a good sweat.
Yeah. Well, it helps the pores certainly open up. It helps cleanse the body. It starts the whole natural cycle, because when you're cleansing, you're really getting rid of toxins, which means that you now are in a position to take in some really good nutrients at the same time.
That's really the key is, we have too much of what we don't need, toxins. We don't have enough of what we need, cell-ready nutrition, and we've got stress that's keeping us from making all this happen.
So it's tough in the modern world because
you're in Tampa, Tom. You should come see me in my office and let me help you make a aromatherapy inhaler so that you can turn your steam sauna into a really powerful.
Those things really work too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, thanks a lot for calling.
Right. Well, I guess that's all I had for right now.
Okay.
It's good to talk to you guys. Have a great weekend. You're doing an excellent job.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate your support, and call us again.
So nice when we get callers in here.
And I like hearing from some of our local people.
It's very nice, and we get a lot of calls from local people.
We do.
Which is really surprising, since we're not on the radio here in this city, which we should correct that. We should go out and hustle a little bit, I guess. But we are other places. So.
Hey, I wanted to talk about. There was one other thing before.
Well, let's do it after the break, because we're coming up here. We've got like 30 seconds left. Just enough to remind you that on the first and third Friday of every month is when I bring my Health Signals newsletter to you, a new issue. So please pick that up. It's only $10 a month, so $5 per issue. And the number here is 877-927-6648. Paige and I will be right back to talk about the forest, walking in the forest. I love it. Right back, folks.
Andy Heck's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock in option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico here and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle. And one of the things in our newsletter at the end, we're talking about fitness and exercise.
And there's a lot more benefit to walking in the forest to heal oneself than just the exercise, folks. There's
no doubt about it.
Real good clinical research.
Yeah.
You remember when we talked about that on the show? It was probably a year ago or so. I was talking about the research done in Japan.
Yes.
On specifically the conifers, your pines and so forth, and the essential oils and the chemical constituents and the effect they've had on stress and improving health. There you go. The Shinrin-yoku forest therapy. I mean, this is a big movement in Japan.
Yeah, and there's a couple of videos in here that show you exactly the forest and what they're doing there. But, around our house we have this beautiful bluff that we walk upon, which is really nice. And there's this one little area, there's kind of a creek that crosses underneath the road. And if you go right beside the creek, there's a little fence, and all of a sudden you go into this little section of maybe only a block long. But it's just totally green, and bamboo shoots are going up, and you can smell it. And just taking that 10-minute walk through there just makes you feel completely different.
It's wonderful. And so we've got a great article. If you get the newsletter, you can read about the specifics of it. But I really like the graphic there. A couple of them. There is no Wi-Fi in the forest, folks, but I promise you will find a better connection.
Yep.
So maybe find a park in your area. Maybe even take your shoes off and let your feet get a little dirty and get a little electrical charge.
Yeah.
But
it's really important
really
just to
love the
connect
idea.
with nature.
Yeah, we're lucky here. We have some beautiful parks, so we can get
Yeah.
into kind of a forest area, and we also have the beach.
Yeah.
And we've got that beautiful, electricity and magnetism that we can enjoy with the salt
Yeah,
from
and
the
it's
water
especially
and the
the
sand.
green. I remember in the springtime, living up in Michigan, and before that in Canada, springtime would come, and you have that first day where it's in the high 70s, and there's no more snow on the ground, and you sit on the grass in the park someplace. That's what I would do.
Yeah, so we know a lot of you all are up there where
I'd
it's still
spend a couple
cold.
hours just in the park, just breathing it in, listening to the birds, and just kind of reconnecting with nature and saying, hey, spring is here and everything's good again.
Even though some of these people are up there and their spring hasn't sprung yet,
Yeah,
we're
that's true.
sending it to you. We
Yeah,
want you to
that's
start
right.
thinking
Yeah,
about it, getting
exactly.
out there and connecting.
Yeah. I got this one article from, I think it's from Alan. He sent the latest coffee trend is to put butter in your coffee.
Hey, guys,
you ever
we're
heard of that before?
Well,
Tiger Brew, right?
yeah, Tiger Brew, adding your grass-fed butter, your medium-chain triglycerides from your coconut oil, little stevia if you like it sweet.
Yeah.
The Bulletproof executives doing it. But guys, this is on Fox News, so people are paying attention to what we're doing.
I'm surprised that Starbucks hasn't come up with like a Tiger Brew or Starbucks brew
or something.
and jumping on the bandwagon because
Starbucks-
they're charging $5 for these frappuccinos. You get a nice bulletproof coffee or Tiger Brew, and that's probably worth $5 at least for me.
Well, yeah, they could be adding butter, but sadly, you still see all those little pink, yellow, or blue packets of artificial sweeteners out there.
Yeah, but this would be really nice if you had a nice paleo drink at a coffee shop.
So remember, it's a great way to get your fat-soluble nutrients. And, we had our caller, Tom, that just called in and asked about vitamin A. Where's a great source of vitamin A? Butter, guys. Grass-fed butter is loaded with vitamin A.
Yeah. And scientists are cautioning people because they're saying that chemicals are just coming into our food from packaging. And that's not just from plastic wrap, folks. It's just, it's pretty much everywhere. So we really have to be careful, I think, how we select our food and who we buy it from just because of the packaging alone.
This is really key, and here we see this article was in CBS News, latest science news, also had some stuff about the chemicals that we're being exposed to in our food. You've heard us say again and again, it's not just what we can absorb in our food, it's not just what we can digest.
Right.
It's what we can disinfect in terms of microbes, and also which we can actually dispel and not absorb or, protect ourselves from these chemicals that are coming into our food. Our dining, our eating is one of the most stressful things we do in our body. So,
Wow. That's something to say that.
We're turning to our food to get our nutrition. And we know that's a challenge because of soil processes. Our food is not nearly as nutritious as it needs to be. And that's one of the things that's caused you and I to try and find a holy grail or something that will help us with that. And
another thing too, when we're talking about packaging, we're talking about storage. So how you store it, how you package it, who you get it from, how they're getting it to you, all plays a role in the types of toxins that we finally receive from the food or just being near the food. So the lesson really is the simpler you can do this. So going to a farmer's market is pretty simple. You bring your own bags, you gather the stuff, and you bring it home. No packaging, but the packaging food is what really is the problem. So when you're talking about cereals, you're talking about things that are in boxes, stuff we don't.
And that's
would
the whole
eat
premise
anyway.
of what we're trying to suggest is to avoid,
avoid the
going
packages.
primal, getting down to the root of what we need to do.
Yep.
This reminded me of an article I saw this week, Natural News. He considered it an urgent report, and one of the most important reports he's done this year, the battle for humanity being nearly lost because food is now deliberately engineered to promote death, not nourishment. Food contamination is often not an accident, and even children's vitamins are designed to cause long-term neurological damage in children. Wow. Okay, we know Mike can be kind of emphatic.
Yes.
But this is a conclusion that he's come to from the extensive laboratory testing he's now doing at the Natural News Food Science Lab. And many of you may have seen that, or if you didn't, he was revealing that the iron that we're seeing in these packaged cereals is in fact iron, folks. You can count on it, but it's not the iron our bodies need. It's iron filings.
Yes, that's the biggest problem.
It's disgusting.
It seems like the deeper these people start digging in to the sources, how the food is made, how the food is packaged, what's actually in the food when you finally get it, the more horror stories this seems to come about.
Well, what's bothering me about it, and I don't like to think, I like to think of myself as a half full per glass, half full glass, not a half empty.
Right.
But, like something I posted, half of the things that it comes with becoming enlightened about the truth is realizing that a lot of what you thought was true, you have to unlearn it.
Yeah.
It's not the truth. And, I don't like to think that anyone would purposely add things to food, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of people who don't have the highest ethics that are in this mass production, and that's why we need to get away from this. We need to vote with our wallets and make good food choices that we know we can control the ingredients.
Well, the closer you get to the source, the better it is for you, because you probably know that person, and it's not being passed through so many hands, and I think that's really the ultimate thing food-wise. I don't care if my TV passes through many hands, but my prime rib, I think so, or, no matter what I'm eating.
Let me just, since I brought it up, I pulled up the article from Mike Adams. He said...
Yeah, that's Natural News, right?
Yeah, naturalnews.com, Mike Adams.
Yep.
Based on what I am seeing via atomic spectroscopy analysis of the dietary substances people are consuming on a daily basis, I must now announce that the battle for humanity is nearly lost. The food supply appears to be intentionally designed to end human life rather than nourish it. That's pretty,
Yeah, a pessimistic view, for sure.
He says life-destroying toxins intentionally engineered into the food supply. My lab has uncovered scientific proof that substances are intentionally formulated into dietary products to drive consumers mentally insane while causing widespread infertility, organ damage, and a loss of any ability to engage in rational, conscious thinking. These toxic substances are being found across the entire food supply, including conventional foods, organic foods, natural foods, and dietary supplements.
And what he's saying really makes sense, because when we're talking about the water guy, what are we talking about? We're talking about the water being exposed to all kinds of chemicals and toxins at many different levels. Not only, they're putting in fluoride in our water, they're putting it in there, but the ocean is full of plastic. And, of course, Fukushima's out there, too.
Right.
So, and the rainwater's got toxic, so we're getting it from everywhere. So he's talking about just that food part, but, I mean, it seems like we're getting hit from everywhere. I mean,
really
socially, education-wise, with our kids, busing kids all over the place.
I'd like to get Winston back on, because when you just said that, we have a great article this week in the newsletter about what's the real key ingredient in the soil. Is it the added fertilizers? Of course, we know that's not the case, but it's the microorganisms, and he's an expert on that.
Yes.
It just popped in my head. But, folks, we really have to start looking at protecting ourselves at the point of entry of these foods that we're eating. And so if we know that even some of, our plant-based food and nutrition may or may not be grown on a soil that's good, but what if, in fact, there's been things added to that food and soil that's not good for us. So.
And do your investigation, folks, because this is what's going to put you on the path to really getting some of these toxins out of it. So the less you can get, the better it is. And packaging and, how they store all this stuff makes a huge difference, just like the water, just like everything else. So, I mean, I think it's important to realize that we're getting exposed from many, many different ways, in many different levels, with food and everything in society, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so what other article that we want to get into on here?
I think that might be something that everybody might want to go read, because this new work that Mike Adams is doing, really, something came out about 2 weeks ago about the amount of, I think it was cadmium, in some, what we would view as vegan protein suppliers. One was Raw, and the other one was Sun Warrior, and they had real high levels. Now, these companies, when they realized it, this is what's kind of opened up this bombshell. They've come right up front and said, we are going to look at our suppliers and see what's going on, because certainly we're not adding it. But this whole new food forensic lab is, I think, going to be something that we all want to take a close look at.
I agree with you. Here's an interesting article that I ran across. And it's research find that weed, of course we're talking about marijuana, may block the spread of HIV. Now that marijuana is kind of starting to become more mainstream because everybody's talking about it, because recreationally there's a couple of states that allow it. We have, I think, now 20 states that allow it medicine-wise.
And it's on the ballot here in Florida.
And it's on the ballot here in Florida, and I'm thinking that there's probably a lot of people going to vote that never voted before, But what's really interesting about this whole thing, and I was reading an article, I think the Thursday morning paper on it, and this is being really pushed by the people who are having the problems with their children, who have health problems that can't be touched any other way except through some of the new cannabis entries in the form of cookies or candies or whatever it is for epilepsy, for different pain release, things like that. So big money is being pushed into by these people. Thank goodness we have some rich, sick people, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they're pushing it rather than from other sources where you think it might come from. So it's interesting in Florida, and I'm real interested to see what's going to happen on there.
I think it's no real surprise. What we're seeing is the antiviral power of plants.
Yes.
And we know of these. We know of oregano oil and some other really,
Yes.
we could go on and on. I won't go off on a tangent. But is there any surprise that maybe some of these things were purposely, pushed out of use?
Yeah.
The whole Reefer Madness campaign.
Yeah. When you look
what
at
year
some
was
of
that?
those,
The 50s?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the 50s.
I think it was made earlier than that. When I saw it, it was probably early 60s when I saw the movie.
And they knew that mass communication was expanding. People might find out that things actually worked, and so better stamp it out so that pharmaceutical companies could come up with their solutions.
It's interesting stuff for sure.
There was some interesting information from Grassroots Health and the vitamin D action. We just spoke a little bit about the power of cod liver oil to get some of the natural fat-soluble vitamins. Right. But the research is going on and on, folks, about the importance of having sufficient vitamin D levels, for not just prevention of the flu, but in terms of prenatal care and mothers, and so if it's so easy, but people assume their doctors are going to test it, and they don't. Unless you ask for your vitamin D, very oftentimes your doctor will not order
It's
the
an
test.
easy test too, right?
It's an easy test, and I don't know why they don't just make it part of as common as this, as this CDC.
Because if you want to build good bone health and skin health, you're going to need the sun.
Exactly.
Or a supplement to activate all the other things that are going on, especially your calcium. And
completely. It's a very important player, just like vitamin K2. Again, one of the reasons I like getting it in a fermented, cod liver oil. But I like to express to people that I think the best way to get vitamin D is the sun.
Yeah.
And that way you're actually making the sulfured version of it. Literally in the sun, in 20 minutes, you can make hundreds of thousands of international IUs.
It's really 10 to 15 minutes a day is all you really need of some.
And that's not
sunlight.
to wash. Did you know that? That's not to wash after you've been in the sun.
Oh, really?
To keep, so a lot of people have this habit of going to the beach or getting out in the sun and then going home and scrubbing their skin, which, first of all, you're not. Did you see that thing I sent you about soap? Well, we're going to talk about that.
I haven't read it yet, but I
maybe
caught
next
it
week. We don't need to be soaping up our skin. More of an Ayurvedic science is using oils to cleanse our skins. They feel better. You can add essential oils
Doesn't
to them.
dry it out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
we have an
sense.
acid mantle, and the oil is there to help protect our skin. So get the sun, guys. Start getting out there a few hours.
No more soap for me.
Don't soap up afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we'll be right back. This is Nico and Paige on Living a Primal Lifestyle. See you in a minute.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Victor Jones, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Wouldn't it be great if you could get a red light, green light indicator that gives you signals on 25 different futures contracts? Now you can with Taz Signal Box. This red light, green light market profile system dynamically updates 24 hours a day and provides you with important trend and trade signals on 9 different commodities, 9 different indices, and 8 different currencies. Right now you can receive a 2-week free trial to Taz Signal Box. For all the details and to find out how the Signal Box works, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's trading newsletter.
Patterns, profits, and peace of mind.
In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the Forex market, and more. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 full weeks. That's an $85 value. Yours free when you register right now.
Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind.
And get the edge you've been looking for.
Up next, the Diagnostics Trading Hour with Daryl Martin here on TFNN.
And welcome back, everybody. And, I kind of wanted to close up this session on healing your body using digital healing and quantum healing technology. I like to exchange the word medicine for healing. I think we need to put the heal back into health.
I think that's a good idea.
And, this is just yet another place where they're exposing the fact that really we are living a holographic life. Mm-hmm. It's a kind of a picture life. And, there is no real matter. It's all energy. We've just kind of...
There's more space between the matter.
Exactly. Yeah. And what we see as our bodies is really just energy that has slowed down.
You don't know that about it.
But when I read this article, I thought a little bit about how I'm trying to share with you all a little bit about my approach. And, you hear me say, a creative fusion of ancient wisdom or primal wisdom and quantum science. Mm-hmm. And I'm not so sure that our ancestors weren't, way ahead. I mean, I think that they were. When we were watching that one video, I think we shared with you all a couple weeks ago, where the speaker, I'm forgetting his name, I think it was Derringer, talked about the fact that ancient temples are actually a circuit board, mm-hmm. the way they're laid out.
Yeah, it seems that way to me. And the American Indians knew a lot about sound and about smoke, using it in their medicine. That's what the medicine man used.
Exactly.
They knew a lot about tonics and bone broths and all those things that make you feel good when you're not feeling quite up to it. So there's a lot of natural ways, and getting into the quantum mechanics and multidimensional physics is only just another avenue of how that expression was emulated by our ancestors, I think. Because they knew, maybe they didn't know scientifically this atom came to this atom and they smashed together and everybody was happy. Maybe they didn't know that part of it, but they knew it worked. They knew that a certain sound produced a certain feeling. A certain touch does the same thing.
Exactly.
It's
all the vibrational information.
Yeah.
And that's why I so love aromatherapy. I love homeopathics. I love sound. And use those every day and trying to help people realize that the healer they're waiting for is not really me or you or their doctors themselves.
As what they're doing. And the same thing, a lot of times in my exercise programs, I'll emphasize the breathing and the quietness of it and how to really just get yourself in tune with your body. And it's done through sound and through breathing exercises and the stillness within you and all those things that we always talk about in mindful living.
Exactly. It's absolutely true. And, quantum digital healing doesn't focus much on chemical and matter sections of the body. It focuses more on the structure of the light bodies. Does that sound familiar when I talk to you about what quantum reflex is and that we've actually are looking at the biophotons of the body? That's how our cells communicate through very powerful low-level light.
Look at the placebo effect. A placebo effect is really a change of energy, of acceptance of something. So once you accept it, the body knows how to use it. You don't accept it, the body doesn't use it, and it goes by the wayside.
Exactly.
That's kind of the way I look at it.
And again, one of the dangers of using synthetic man-made supplements is that there is no light.
Yeah.
There is no light in something that was man-made. And the body needs the light to communicate. So that's why we look at live source, we look at energy that produces a light. Yeah. And we like it.
We love it.
So if you want to learn more about quantum healing, contact me at Paige at TFNN. I would love to work with you and help you to learn how you can unleash your own whole being healing power.
And you'll learn a lot about yourself, and that's the cool part when you start going into these adventures of different types of healing and different types of being mindful, being in tune with the universe, earthing yourself. All these things have little vibrations that add something to your life.
And it's all things that you do.
Yes.
Every day, simple, primal things.
I think so. Okay, folks, that's it for today. Hope you come back next week and join us again for another show. I don't know what we're going to be doing, but we're going to be researching that when we leave. So see you next week, I guess.
See you next week, yes.
Yeah, have a wonderful week.
Be safe.
Bye-bye.
Told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
You're watching Tiger TV.